Hi, everybody. Hey, look what day it is. It's day 5 of how to make money with email. Are we rich yet? Has anybody made any money yet? I promised you would, didn't I? I alluded to it. I don't know if I promised. Um, no, we are at day 5. Nothing's going to happen yet until after the end of day 5. Just wait for it. Waiting for my yacht to arrive. Good. Well, that part is on you. Remember, there was a whole process. I don't remember what it was, but there was a slide and how you do things. And so hopefully you got that. If you are joining me for the first time, that's ridiculous. We have 4 other sessions. Go back and watch that. Watch them. By the way, that's just a real note here. Since this is the last session, I am going to keep the Facebook group alive and the replays will be in there. So if you did miss anything or you're struggling with insomnia, feel free to go back and watch those again. Leanne, that is for you. So today we're going to talk about all the different ways that I haven't talked about yet to make money with email. I hope that you got a nugget or two from yesterday's session. We talked a lot about segmentation this week. We've talked about, yesterday we talked about affiliate. We talked about keeping an eye on what Raptive is doing. I hope if you didn't have it enabled yet, that you've got all of all of your links ID'd. That's worth doing. Make sure that that happens. So today we're going to dive into the rest of the stuff. And if you have questions or whatever about your own situation at the end, let me know. Unmute and we'll talk at the very end. I'll stick around. Uh, Before I get going too far, I was actually in a Facebook group earlier today and reading where somebody had posted, said this is a recipe blogger Facebook group, and somebody had posted, "What's the reality of when I make a cookbook? Was it worth it?" And it was pretty mixed. People coming at it saying, "Totally worth it," but a lot of people were like, "Not worth it. Ton of work." And then I didn't get the sales that I wanted, and I had to deal with a publisher and all these things. Um, and I think that's going to be an important part of what we're talking about today, because behind that, I was thinking about what was really behind that for those people who had success and those who weren't. I just got off the call actually with a client who's going to be selling a $200 product. And honest to goodness, their list is not warmed up for that. So, and I'm afraid that she has a lot of hopes and dreams built on this $200 product on her first launch that may not come to fruition simply because the expectations don't match what I see as the reality right now. So, how does one bridge that gap? How do we get to the point where you can sell something? So, that's the title of this slide. Dun, 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 sell something. All right. So, how many of you have something for sale right now that is not the normal type of thing? You have a book? Do you have a course? Do you have a membership? What have you got? Down in the chat, let me know what you have that you're selling. CVG cut files, okay. Yes, you should warm them up for sure. I'll walk you through how you can do that. Have an ebook, all right. Good. Quote patterns. Do people buy the patterns? They do. Okay, good. All right. Membership and sell individual patterns. I love that. All right. Supplements and new ebooks or 2 ebooks working on a course. Workshop. Nice. That's kind of different. Does anybody else have a workshop? Membership, working on more courses and workshops. The daily email series. Some people might want to sell a paid newsletter, right? Um, a cookbook coming out next year. Great. Look, you are all primed and ready for this conversation. I have to tell you my background. So I've been before this, I was in e-commerce for 20 years. I know I don't look that old, but I apply sunscreen. So for those 20 years, I've learned a few things about how we use email to sell. Those principles are not that different today. Yeah, some things have changed, but not dramatically. All right. Many of you, now this is catered to food, but I think it's applicable to all y'all. What can you sell or what can you build that you can eventually sell to your list? Because maybe some of you are looking at ways to diversify your revenue like my client. Course, ebook, video series, conference, membership group, workshop, digital products. Okay. Ebooks. The Wholesome Yum has, over the last, boy, ever since I've known her, she's done a great job of selling ebooks. If you want to sell ebooks, exit this course and go straight over to the Wholesome Yum and just try to mirror everything that she's doing. You'll notice that it is not a one and done thing, meaning she didn't just make an ebook, put it on the website, send out an email and hope and pray. That did not happen. This is a whole business strategy. By the way, when we come back to this, the main topic of conversation with my client was not email. It was the shift in business strategy for her selling this $200 thing. Maya has made this a business strategy and a winning one. She does bundles. She releases new products. She kills the products. They come and they go. Nisha from Rainbow Plant Life has had a real successful run at making meal plans. And she does it in a different way than just, taking a meal plan and dropping it into a PDF and here you go. She's made a whole enterprise out of it. In fact, they have an app that can go along with the meal plans. Carrie from Eating on a Dime created Lazy Day Cooking Club. So she's made a whole membership built around a community of like-minded people that are, they're struggling in the kitchen together. And for $15 a month, she's sharing recipes, life stories, Facebook lives, and all that stuff together. All right. Before we go too far, though, I'm going to deviate real quick. And I'm going to tell you something that isn't related to email that is going to make you roll your eyes a little bit. So just prepare yourself. This is Kimberly from Sweet Red Poppy. And Kimberly and her husband Josh, when we were working together several years back now, we were having a great time. They're fun people, but we also had some real success together. And I said, hey, would you mind doing a quick testimonial for me? And I thought she would hold up her phone and say something nice into the phone. Well, she's got a studio. And so when the lights were on and her hair and makeup were done, she filmed this 90-second spot where she basically said, here's what life was like before I started working with Matt. Here's what it was like working with him. And since we've been working together, we've made hundreds of thousands of dollars implementing his strategies. Now, why am I telling you about that? I can't pay for that kind of endorsement. I can't pay for that level of advertising. Think about it. How do we know each other? Because Raptive introduced us, probably. You took Raptive's word for it. In this world where, remember, it's hard to sell anything if you haven't built up trust, you have got to have a little bit of Kimberly in your back pocket, all right? Where somebody is saying, yeah, Jasmine's ebook is awesome. Tanya's membership has changed my life. I made $3 million sewing one of Amy's patterns. Okay? That kind of stuff is gold. How do you get it? You have to ask. So for those of you who have products, my question is, how many testimonials do you have? Today, friends, I'm giving you something actionable. I'm giving you something to do that is not pie in the sky. It is something you can do today that will change your business if you have a product, if you have a book, if you have a course. You have to ask, and you have to keep asking because you want more and more of this. Imagine this. How much advertising do I have to do? What do my emails need to look like if I've got a ton of testimonials like Kimberly's? How much writing do I need to do? Don't ask me, ask Kimberly. Don't ask me, ask Leanne. Don't ask me, ask Deborah. I don't have to write emails anymore. So I actually have here, I'll just show you. I'm not hiding anything. Okay. Do you guys know this? You know about the template thing down here in your Gmail, right? I hope you all use this. Um, After I finish, that's not it. That's the wrong one. Let's try a different one. Let's find the right one. This is what happens when you do stuff live. Uh, oh, there it is. Hi, so and so. As we wrapped up our consulting, I want to thank you for the opportunity to work together. I hope it was beneficial, blah, 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 blah. If you felt I did a good job for you, a testimonial from you would be very helpful to me as I'm trying to build up my cred. Friends, I've been building up my cred for 7 years, okay? And I'm still trying. This is the place where a review would serve best. You go here, they can fill this out. Blip, blip, blip. This is what this looks like on the other side. You don't have to use Trustpilot. The reason I use Trustpilot is because I was lazy and I didn't want to, plus it's hard to game this. In fact, I've got a 1-star review in here that caused me not to have a 5. And the 1-star review has nothing to do with my business. And so I think somebody got confused about who this was that they were reviewing. But I can't get it removed, which is fine. But then you got Scott Cook, crushed it. Matt and his team at Email Crush are beyond amazing. Not only they take the time to da 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 da, he's got great hair too, or it says something close to that. Right? So this is what we're looking to do. Make it easy on yourself. I wrote this before ChatGPT was around. You can lean on ChatGPT to write the most friendly request for a review for whatever product and then put it into your system. Okay, that's a little deviation from our normal email stuff. None of you will actually do it, but those of you who will, it will change your life. I'm serious. None of you will do this. Why am I talking about it? But if you will. Okay, so now you're going to sell something. Now, let's see. Somebody was asking about, I'm sorry, it's just not here in front of me. Somebody was asking about, do you warm up your audience? Well, the answer is everything what we've been doing up to this point has been warming them up, right? If we're serving them on an ongoing basis, we're warming them up. If you've not been sending them emails and then you want to use email to try to sell them something, blah, 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 not going to work. So sending is serving. Remember the segmentation part of this. That's the whole idea of having a forever series here. Like patterns are my biggest revenue working on a course. Okay, I don't know the details here, Amy, but I'm sure that your patterns fit. They solve some particular problem for some particular user. If you were able to identify that particular user at the beginning with a quick start guide or some other lead magnet, you get them onto your list. And now through the power of email segmentation, you are sending them stuff over and over and over every week that's awesome, related to that segment, not to everything else in the world that Amy knows about. Then when the time is right, she says, and if you thought that was great, just wait. Pay me $5 and you'll get this pattern, right? That's how it works. That's the warm-up, is the ongoing serving. When it comes time to launch, however, there is a little bit, wait, how long? Forever, Leanne, forever. Start now. Now, whenever you have the course, whenever you have the product, you can introduce that early in the journey. Maybe that's the core of your question. If you have a quick start guide, should you talk about your product? Sure. Is it the main point of the quick start guide? No. But you can certainly dedicate an email to it at the very end if you want. You could make mention of it in your copy. You could put a thing at a footer at the bottom that says, if you're loving these, you're really gonna, my patterns are gonna change your life, right? The nice thing about doing that at the quick start guide level, by the way, is that it's not later when you do what I'm about to tell you about big launch stuff, it's not the first time they've heard of this that you sell something. I have a done for you services agency. I have hundreds, if not thousands of people in my email on Autopilot Group. I've had many, many students and clients. I'll venture to bet that most of them don't know that I have this agency on the side. A lot of people don't even know that. Okay? People don't know everything about us, even though we think that they should. So feel free to introduce your cookbook, your pattern, your membership, your workshop early in the process. Just don't expect to have all the gangbuster results that you can build over time by being a little bit more strategic with your email. When the time is right, and we'll talk about when that is, you're going to want to do a sales launch. Here are what I believe are some of the elements that make up a good sales launch to make it successful in email. We talked about the testimonials. Reviews are in the same universe, aren't they? Some sort of guarantee. Look, in the digital space, they don't know you, they don't trust you, give them a money back guarantee. You don't need the pain and the hassle if somebody hates on you, all right? And then just vibrates to all their friends and on their socials about how awful you are or how it didn't work for them. This one's real important. With any launch, it works best when it ends. So make your launch scarce. Make your launch tied to an end date. We'll explain about what that means in just a moment. I suggest that the launch should have some other hook, some value add bonus that they can't get during normal times. That will, when tied to the time-bound nature of it, they're going to want to act because they can get these special bonuses. It could be a discount. I'm not saying that you should do that very often, but it could be other freebies, if you will, that you throw in that add value. Here is a standard sales funnel. I'm not saying you have to do all these emails. I'm telling you, though, that, and this won't be a surprise because you've seen these. You've been in one of these funnels a time or two. And some of you are going, that's a lot of emails. Aren't I going to annoy my audience? Well, I have an answer for that in just a minute. They quite often look like this. What's your biggest struggle with X? Not what's your biggest struggle with your ex, although that could be, of course. What is your biggest struggle with whatever? And from there, the idea is to tease them and get them thinking, and hopefully they'll reply to that. But at bare minimum, it's got the juices going. And then we heard you. Here's our solution to your biggest struggle. And launch day, that's the longer email. You put it all in the email, explain it. This is not the short Matt Mullen little thing. This is like as much content as you want to shove into that email to get them to click over to your landing page with multiple links back to the landing page. Now, these next three, you don't have to send 3 emails, of course, but you'll quite often see this. Focus on the main feature. So most of our products solve multiple needs or multiple problems, but there's usually one main thing that they do. Email on Autopilot is focused on all sorts of email marketing success. Things such as what to send, automations, how to use this tech, blah, blah, blah. But the thing that most people care about is growing their list. So what I will do when I'm promoting email on Autopilot is I will focus on list growth. I'll say, Deborah went from negative 25 subscribers to 2,000 subscribers a day using the email on Autopilot system. Testimonials, I talked about that. This is an email where it's literally Kimberly said this, Cheyenne said this, Keita said this, right? Overcome objections. Depending on the price tag, depending on the type of product and how much somebody really has to think about this. You might have an email that says, look, I get it, it's expensive. Here's why that's totally worth it. Or any other objection that you can think of. Answer it in a very human way as if they were sitting across the table from you. Yeah, I wish we could, they might say, I would buy it, but it's not in pink. And you might say, yeah, I wish we could do pink. Well, maybe some other time. But right now it's available in polka dotted blue. All right. Um, your last day, this is a must do. You don't have to do three, but you definitely need to do one on the final day. You need to let them know it's going away. You're going to get the bulk of your sales on the last day. There's quite a few launches that I'll do where the first few days is like, is anybody ever going to buy this? And then presto, at the end, that's when the big flood comes because people just sit on stuff. That's just human nature. And so that's why you send this final day, last chance, ends in an hour, whatever you can stomach. And then this technique, while it may make you cringe a little bit inside, um, the following day, let's say it was supposed to end Sunday at midnight. On Monday, you might send something that says, we totally understand that a bunch of you weren't able to get your orders in because it ended on Sunday. That's why we've extended it one final 24-hour period. If you this is your really truly your last chance. Okay, you'll get another 10 to 20% of sales right there. Greasy used car sales. Yeah. Just one final chance. No, really. Um, okay, now too many emails? Maybe so. That's why you give them the option to opt out of this thing. All right. So the way that you do that is you create a tag, something like mute Black Friday 2025 offer. And up at the top of the emails, probably not in the first one, but maybe starting in email 2 or 3, you say, if you're absolutely sure you don't need the guide to being as awesome as Katie, click here to opt out of any future emails about this promotion or something like that. Shorter than that, but you get it. And then they click on it. That then sets that tag. And then this tag is simply excluded with every email that is sent. Now, for those of you who don't understand how that works technically, go back, rewind this, listen to me slower, and then go apply that tags and exclusions logic to your email platform. Okay? Um, this is an area that is foreign to many content creators who haven't spent their life in marketing. And that is the concept of creating a promotional calendar. All right. So we got a lot of products. Oh, I'm sorry. I just saw this. I skipped over a bunch of. Uh, I'll pause on this for a second. Answer the question. Do we ask permission if you want to use positive comments? Absolutely. Yes. Make it simple, though, when you're asking permission. Quote exactly what you'd like to say. Don't make them write something new, but quote, I'd like to quote you just like this. Is this all right? And almost every single time they're going to say sure, especially when you say you don't put their last name or something. You say, um, Matt M says such and such. Okay. All right. Hope I didn't miss anybody else's question. All right. Back to the promotional calendar. Hey, it's only going to be 117 outside here in Arizona, so it's a lovely day to go to the park. Take your notebook. If you still use such a thing, it comes with paper and a pencil or a pen. And then you write every month of the year. And you say, when does it make sense for me to promote my workshop? When does it make sense for me to promote my membership group? What bundles or seasonal bundles does it make sense for me to do with my SVG files? Look at the next 6 to 12 months and make a plan. Everywhere where it kind of makes sense, just jot something in there and say, okay, we're going to do a focus on this in this month. Now, it doesn't have to be every month, probably shouldn't be. You could, some people do, but probably more frequently than you are thinking about it. A lot of people are in the boat of I create a product and just hope it sells itself. Do you have a product you've been sitting on that you made 24 months ago that's kind of like that? Well, this is what I'm talking about. It's still awesome. You're still awesome. The promo calendar will help. So take that. Black Friday, a good example. Black Friday, do we want to do a discount? Do we want to do something, a special bundle? Do we want to do something at the first of the year when people are changing their lives? And then the promotion part, make it special. That whole time bound thing. Add in something or discount it. You can sometimes you just need to change the theme. I have a version of my course that is specific to Instagrammers. It's the same. It's basically the same course. It's just the very first couple modules are slightly different, right? Um, Here's the trick that quite often works great is kill a product and introduce a different product, which could be very similar to the other product, but it's different. Rick Steves' France guidebook to France for 2026 is going to be drastically different than the 2025 version. I'm sure of it. Right? But it gives you an excuse to do a sale or a promo on the thing that's going away, and it gives you an excuse to do a sale or a promo on the thing that's arriving. Are we still in greasy used car sales here? Yeah, a little bit, Deborah. Yeah. Trust me though, you have to, what you're doing, the nuts and bolts of it is our audience does not, they don't consume our content constantly. This gives you an excuse to remind them of that thing. Sometimes you just do it to amp up sales. McDonald's could sell the McRib all year long. But when they sell it in October or November, I am there. It gets me in. But maybe if it was there all the time, I wouldn't be there. You know, I wouldn't be going for it. It's special because it's scarce. I hope that helped. Did anybody get any ideas for your products? All right. By the way, we've got a bunch of crafters here. This right here. Network. All y'all who have cookbooks, this right here. Network or ebooks. Look around you. Who here could you partner with that has a similar audience? By the way, any one of you could be an affiliate for any one of the others. Your email, we talked about affiliate sales yesterday. There's so many people who have products right here. Amy's workshop might be perfect for all y'all. Amy might give you a kickback if you promote it in your newsletter. I don't know, making stuff up. But this is the type of hustle that we can do when you combine promos with networking like we're doing here. Oh, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but you need this, okay? All right. Why am I giving you a protein powder link? I'll throw it here in the chat. Don't spend time on it right now. But I want you to dive into, look at this one right here. This plant-based protein powder. 4,999 reviews. How did I just hit it right on the 4,999th? That's serendipitous. So if I click in here, what I want you to do is I want you to look at this, and then I want you to look at your product page, and I want you to identify the 214 things that they are doing that you are not. Okay? Now, this spoken like a blogger, Deborah. The reason they're doing this is because it works. So my gut tells, if you want to sell something, you need to dissect, reverse engineer people who are crushing it with e-commerce. Okay? Look at all these reviews from supposedly real people. Look at the guarantee. Look at as they focus on the number one feature, which is the taste, along with their guarantee. Zero risk. They took their guarantee and they've got it twice. No questions asked. Look at this deal if you auto ship. You got questions? They got answers. Do you have this many answers for your quilting patterns? Oh, we have a standard. And nothing fake ever. Not even these reviews. Okay, I don't know them. I don't know the protein powder. I just know I've watched this for years. Okay, I'm just looking at the chat. What you are saying in the chat is that this is gross from a user standpoint. That is spoken like an authentic, true blogger, not like marketing. This is why you need to hear this from me today. If you want to sell, you have to identify both the things that make your product awesome And then the trigger, oh, the protein is gross. Oh, okay. I haven't tried it. But that makes it even more remarkable. If the product itself is not very good, um, Adrian says there has to be a balance, though, right? For example, in the past, I've mentioned sites the size of Wholesome Yum and Food Babe in a large food blogger group. And Casey, an SEO expert, would say not to look at people like that because they're in a different class. Yes, what Casey is telling you to do is to avoid the comparison trap, not avoid the what, reverse engineer what they're doing. You could do, okay, so let's say you don't have this many reviews. You have 5 people who've ever tried your product that have an iPhone that could hold it up and take a video for you, and then you could put it on a landing page like this. You totally have that capability. All of you do. All right. You have the ability to write this guarantee just like this and to make a product image just like that. Does your landing page have that? This is not about SEO. This is a landing page. We don't care if we rank for this page. We're going to be driving sales here from our email and from ads. Okay. So the point of a landing page, I'm so glad you brought this up. This is an important distinction. The point of a landing page is to not rank #1 for plant-based protein powder. Okay, that's a good point. You get 5,000 positive reviews, would probably rank for this page. That is probably true. I'm not an SEO expert, but that is also probably a good point. All right. It's all, and if you worry about your being on your blog, then take your product page and put it on a different blog if you worry about that. But I encourage you, when you get to selling, and I'm looking at every one of you right now, those especially that don't have their camera on, you are not selling enough. You are not employing the marketing tricks here. Yeah. All right. Back to this. Okay, I hope that helps you. That is not email, but that is everything about why email will work or won't work for you. Yeah, I think that's good enough for there. Unless anybody has any specific questions. Let's see. Got it. All right. Sponsorships and ads. This may not be right for everybody. Some people don't want to put ads in their newsletters, but today, more than ever before, the money is literally in the email. We are actually putting ads in newsletters now. This is a thing. You've seen you may be doing it. Is anybody doing that? You may have seen your peers doing that too, and you probably had mixed results, I'm guessing. For those of you who are on Kit, there was a big promise of the ConvertKit sponsor network. Didn't quite play out that as like we hoped. I can talk about that if you want, but the opportunity continues to be there, and this space is evolving. It's really interesting, actually. I'm involved in a private beta I can't really talk too much about, but it's really interesting to see the interest that brands are taking in newsletters that they never had before. And then they have the tech that we have to include ads. Now, this makes a lot more sense when you have a really big list because it's all about impressions, right? But that's what we're talking about here. The walk before you crawl or crawl before you walk scenario is that what is possible when we get here. If you would like to consider putting ads in your newsletters and you'd like to think about getting started with this now, here's how I suggest that you start. First of all, take a look at your newsletter template. Where can you showcase an ad? You probably need to think about that because you probably haven't had an ad in there before. Of course, you already know the fundamental principles that anything above the fold is going to get more eyeballs and thus better performance for your brand or brand partner that you're sponsoring. So higher up, more better. If you fill the space, get what this does, and we talked about this before, but fill a space with an affiliate or with one of your partners or your own product, truly anything. The reason for that is that does a couple of things. Your audience gets used to the fact that you have advertisements, which, by the way, they are fine with. That was a big question for me and for my clients when we first started doing these ads. Like, is the user base going to freak out? And the answer is no. We're used to seeing ads literally everywhere, right? Um, by the way, this mastermind is brought to you by the McRib. Um, the so showing an ad in there, most people understand the game. At the bottom, I suggest a link that says sponsor this newsletter, that when you click on it, takes to a page that talks about your newsletter, that it is sponsorable and almost like I mean, I have it here. It's your media kit, if you will. It says why this newsletter is great, who you serve, what types of partners would be great, past partners that might have worked out, the type of stuff that you see. Um, survey, I didn't mean to bag on surveys the other day. I didn't, I really didn't paint them in a glowing light, but you're going to want to do a survey to get at least some baseline demographics, some justifiable demographics that you can say, okay, I've got a list of 20,000 subscribers. They're typically women ages 25 to 52, and their net worth is blah, 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 or whatever, they're all dentists, whatever it looks like. And then you don't need to hire somebody to do this right now, to do what I just talked about. You can come up with this, so do it yourself. We're going to start easy. Here's something that I often have to remind myself and my clients about is that when we're doing sponsorships, the main goal is to make money for your brand partner. There was a period of time, and we're still in it a little bit, but I think we're leaving it. There was a period of time when the whole game was SEO. I'm not taking any sponsored posts anymore because I can focus my attention on SEO and I don't have to deal with that pesky, annoying brand rep who has all these demands on me. Does this sound familiar? It's a hassle. Well, they have a job to do. And I will tell you, having been on their side, the way that budgets work, you all know this. At least intuitively, you get this. A company has this budget of money that they're willing to spend on marketing. They have limited amount of time. So if I have this bucket of money, how can I deploy that bucket of money fastest with the broadest reach to get me the best results, AKA sales? They're going to do what's easiest. You know what's easiest is typically going to an agency and saying, deploy this money for me in the form of Facebook Meta ads or Google ads or whatever. However, when they find something that works, a partner that they consider gets them and delivers results, that will be a line item in the budget going forward for as long as you want. I know that from being on both sides of it. Because that brand partner, it's probably a marketing manager title, okay, or something like that. That person is super busy. But if he knows that when he reaches out to Jasmine or Jasmine says, I've got an opportunity, that every time he works with Jasmine, it is slick, it is fast, and it gets results. Jasmine is not a pain in my side. And on top of that, she proactively communicates. She gives me the results that I am looking for. Jasmine's going to be in my budget every quarter. Does this start to make sense? We have to shift our brain, our mindset about this. And the way that people who do this really well do this is focusing on the partner. I've had, over my career, I'm still super tight with some of my favorite brand partners, or on the other side, my favorite content creators, because we got to know each other through working together. When I was doing the Disney website, I was the only one I knew of that regularly had paid sponsors that was covering the cost of it. I had one sponsor. She paid me, it was a travel agency, Pay me $600 for my small little, $600 a month for my small little newsletter, a little segment of my little newsletter, $600 a month. And for 4 years, we ran that. And I got to the point where I was like, hey, I think that we should do the next 3 months on these topics. What do you think? Great. Turns out I'm having a sale on such and such. Will you promote that? Sure. That's how our dialogue went. Does it start that way? No. It starts that way with, hi, tell me about the results and what are the impressions and I mean, all that stuff. You don't get to the shortcut until you have the relationship built. The relationship, when it's built on success, it will last a long, long time. I didn't have to stress about that $600 a month. Was that making me rich? No, but you start adding up more and more of those, and that was pretty lucrative little for one email. There are ways that you can monetize technically. SparkLoop is basically they facilitate paying you when somebody signs up for a newsletter through your recommendation. So the Morning Brew is a really big newsletter, and they'll pay, I don't know, $2 or $3 or something for every subscriber. SparkLoop facilitates that type of interaction. So if you want to make recommendations there, it's kind of affiliates for newsletters. Paved is a network that will say, where you can go to them and say, hey, I have a newsletter. And they say, well, here's all the brands. And the brands can find the newsletters and they kind of match each other up a little bit. Live Intent, you've probably seen these ads in newsletters. They don't pay that well, but they're called programmatic, which means that it's kind of like Raptive. They show the best ad based off of what they know about the person that is seeing it. So they just, you have run of network ads that show that you can put in there. Companies like Beehive, Substack, and Kit are all have individual ad programs now where they have programmatic ads. You can get paid by having ads in your newsletter. I have a variety of I have 3 newsletters that are just side hustles that are kind of running on autopilot, and they're making me money every month from Kit programmatic ads. It's not massive, massive amounts, but they're all profitable. So the costs have been covered. They're running themselves now. And what I'm doing with that strategy is just setting it up so I can go pursue what I'm about to talk about next, which are direct opportunities. So here's the example of programmatic is, WildGrain is a subscription box service. They just buy a bunch of impressions to go across the network. And so Kit serves it up at the top as one of the ads. This is just in Kit's case. And then there's direct deals where they may say, you know what, we want to sponsor Sugary Sweets specifically, and it's going to be a bigger ad, and we're going to pay a lot more for it. Okay, so these do exist. They're not complete unicorns, but they work better when you have kind of started here with programmatic and you get used to that. A little trick here is that this is about layout, and this is for my food creators, but maybe if you're thinking about your own layout, it might make sense too, is that instead of just a plain text, a little bit more editorial format tends to do better with sponsorship ads than just a list of recipes, okay? You might also bundle this with sponsored posts if some of you are doing that as part of your business, okay? And once your list starts to grow, you now have this asset, or think about that. What's the difference between this and Facebook ads? What's the difference between this and sponsoring an influencer on Instagram or a YouTube? That is dependent, all of those are dependent upon the eyeballs happening to see it and happening to care. In the case of email, we can push it to people who we know already care. Cricut wants to work with Katie because Cricut knows that Katie already has the audience. So they'll pay Katie more than what they'll pay for Facebook ads, where they're just going to put it out there in hopes that a bunch of people who will see it, and of those, it'll be people who are at the spot in their Cricut journey that they'll purchase the next Cricut 2000. Okay? They can do a deal with Katie because they know that they're going to have better likelihood for results. So when you attach that email list as a bundled option with sponsored posts, you can extend your opportunities. They may not take you up on it, but this is where you start getting creative. Speaking of creative, let's say, for example, sorry, Katie, I'm just throwing your name out here, just like, like I know anything. I don't. But Cricut has an awesome affiliate program, or at least they used to. Is this still good? Still good? 10% and more or more on the kickbacks? Yeah. So it's pretty high paying. If you are killing it with an affiliate program, just like I explained yesterday with my friend Amy with the subscription box, you often, by proving your awesomeness, that turns into negotiated sponsorships. Here, if you're not getting a sponsor, if you're not getting the attention of them, of a brand where you think you could be a good sponsor for them, do not fret. Simply pretend that you have a deal with them and just use their affiliate program. Prove to them that you drive traffic. I promise you that on the other end, there is an affiliate manager who is reviewing results, has a list of top 20 affiliates. They know who you are, and you'll come to their attention pretty quick. When you are a top affiliate, you can start to ask for things. This is not just about sponsorship, this is also about affiliate, okay? If you are crushing it as an affiliate, maybe you can ask to be introduced to the sponsorship team after a certain amount of time. That's what Amy did. You also can ask for additional stuff. When I was at the Daily Deal website, it was called Tanga. Brad's Deals was one of our, they have a newsletter, and they're one of our, and a blog. They were one of our biggest affiliate partners. Now, as you can imagine, they have a lot of opportunities to push a lot of different deals. They knew that, and then they came to us that we would negotiate because we weren't that big and we needed them. So at Black Friday, we negotiated bonus commissions for them. Sometimes it was commission plus sponsorship, bonus commission plus sponsorship, in order to get special exposure during Black Friday. You can start doing those types of things too. So take a longer view of this. And if you're wanting to get into this game, pick and choose your affiliates, like we talked about yesterday, and think about how you could grow that. I didn't mention this yesterday, but whether it's sponsorships or affiliate, make friends with the rep. I know that some of my introverted blogging friends don't want to do that. I get it. But if you can handle it, make friends, ask about their families, ask what they did this weekend. Just shoot the breeze, whatever it takes, because there are going to be times when they need you and you need them. And if you can do them a favor, by the way, that's another thing. You might want to work for free if you're getting started here. This is such a different mindset from where we were with the SEO thing a while back, isn't it? Like, why would we bother appeasing these people? Well, if you want this to be a steady stream of your income, then you have to kind of change a little bit. All right. Look, we're wrapping up. Here's our baby again. It's time to start crawling, maybe. All right. You don't make money with all these things right away. You just don't. I didn't promise it would happen right overnight. But I'm giving you the fundamental principles that if you will take these steps, these crawls first and then steps, you will be well on your way to turning your email list into a tremendously profitable part of your business. Let's recap what we've talked about. First, so we don't lose sight. First, grow the list. Without a list, we got nothing. Are you growing as fast as you want to? Could you be doing more? It is like eating your vegetables. It feels like work right now. I have to get that broccoli down when there's a Cinnabon over there called, I don't know, TikTok. um, but if I eat all that broccoli, man, it starts to taste better and I start feeling better. Okay. So what are you doing to grow your list? Then what are you sending? Are you sending frequently enough? Could you send more? Could you send more thoughtful, journey-driven content in the order that makes the most sense? Or are you just sending whatever's newest? What about segments? How can you serve the segment that is eventually going to turn into a profit center for you? Have you used automations to set that up? Lastly, have you identified the areas where you can start making more money? Once we have a thriving segment, what product, service, course, membership, affiliate deal can we promote that will add another revenue stream to our business? Are we sending more with higher RPMs or links with more higher RPMs? Is every link ID'd so that we're taking advantage of Raptive's newsletter ID? And are we picking and choosing, going back and looking at campaigns that worked well in the past and rerunning those intelligently? You can send more often than you think. You can repeat content more often than you think. All of that is very true. All right. I feel good about this. How do you feel? You feel okay? Logo or no logo in the email? After all that, we got to the heart, the real question. The logo or no logo in the email question. If you want the private yacht, you put the logo in. There's a direct correlation between those two. I would put the logo in because you're branding, my friend, right? But there's obviously a strategy. You might have a reason to send a plain text email. Marketing is one of those things where it's, most answers in marketing are it depends or you should test it. But I'd probably put a logo in. Do people in the Quick Start Guide start getting your regular broadcast immediately, or should you not send that until they finish? What a great question. Okay. You can do both. You can do either. I think a better experience is for them to not get anything while they're in the Quick Start Guide. A way that you can do that is when they enter your sequence, have a tag applied that says in Quick Start Guide. And then when they complete the sequence, it removes that tag. Then to all of your broadcasts that you're sending, you just exclude the people that are in the Quick Start Guide. Did that make sense? That's a simple way to accomplish that. It's just that you have to remember with every broadcast that you send, you have to remember to exclude that tag. All the rest of it is automated. Great question. All right. Look, I promised that I would talk to you about leveling up. Many of you have done this before. If we didn't do that, stick around. Let me help you. Let me answer any questions that you have. If you've got to go, thank you so much for being here. Do me a favor. If this has been helpful to you, will you let your Raptive rep know? If you don't have a rep, just send it to support@Raptive and let them know it was helpful. That's obviously self-serving on my part, obviously. I love doing this and I want to keep doing it. So the more they hear from you, that's helpful. But on top of that, they paid real money for this. So as much as I love you, I did get paid. I have to be, just upfront. So if you want them to keep paying people like me to do things like this, I think letting them know that this was worth it for you, that it was helpful, is a real dang good idea. So drop them a note and invest in yourself. I totally spun that. But no, seriously, it's always fun to see those of you I haven't seen in quite some time. I love to see the work that you're doing. Keep in touch. The email and autopilot group, if you're in there, ask questions there at any time. This group, this Facebook group's gonna be around a little bit too, and we would. Whitney is going to be kicked out of that group, that said group here in just a minute, if I can find that button. Um, but I wish you all the best in getting that private yacht and making lots of money with your email. If you got to go, we'll see you. If you do anything other than email this weekend, you're probably doing it wrong. We'll see you soon. If you have any questions, go ahead and unmute. Let me help you out one last time if we can.
Okay, so just so I'm clear on this, they sign up for the quick start guide, which is a sequence, not an automation. And when that sequence is over, you set a rule that naturally puts them then into the Forever series. So you don't have to, because currently I have a welcome series, and every time I send a regular email, I exclude people who have signed up for my newsletter for the X number of days that the welcome series goes, but I'm sure it's a convoluted way that I'm doing that.
Say that one more time. Every time you send a
Like
newsletter?
I have a welcome series that lasts 16 days.
Okay.
So when I go to send a new email, like my regular broadcast, I exclude anybody who has signed up for my email in the past 16 days. I'm sure there must be a better way to automate that.
There is. You're in Kit, correct?
Yes.
And your welcome series is in a sequence, right?
Rather than
they're not broadcast, so they have to be in a sequence.
Yeah, it's a sequence, not an automation. Yes, correct.
Okay. So you simply can exclude anybody that is currently subscribed to that welcome series sequence.
Okay. So when I set it up now, I'm going to do away with that welcome series once I get a couple more in my Forever series to give me some running room or whatever, because I currently just have the 5. But so what I do is set everybody up in the Forever series or the Forever sequence, and then just automatically, or the quick start guide, sorry, and then automatically when that's done, just dump them into the Forever series.
Yes, and you want to use the word dump like it's like this process where there's thumping and there's bouncing, but yes, that is exactly what you want to do.
Okay, but so then if I set that up to go every Tuesday, once a week, every Tuesday, and I want to continue with the newsletters that I'm already sending on Thursday and Sunday, those are different groups, right?
No, those would be all subscribers.
Okay, so how do the people who are still in the quick start guide not get those?
Okay, so let me show you that. I'll show you an example. Let me actually put it on a screen here, and this might help some of you. All right, so I'm going to make a slide here. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to create the tag in Quick Start Guide. Okay, so then when they sign up for the Quick Start Guide sequence,
yep,
the rule says add tag in Quick Start Guide. Okay, then the rule, you're going to create a rule that says when they complete the Quick Start Guide sequence, my goodness, you're going to remove that tag. Okay, so it's 2 rules.
Okay.
And you're going to do this for every Quick Start Guide. By the way, you can piggyback on the same rule. So you could have one rule that has every time you make a new Quick Start Guide, sign up for this Quick Start Guide, this Quick Start Guide, this Quick Start Guide. The rule is add tag in Quick Start Guide. Okay. Now, when you create a broadcast, you're going to exclude the tag in Quick Start Guide. You know, when you make a broadcast and you go to send it, it says, do you want to send to all subscribers or do you want to filter it out? Your filter is simply this, everybody but these people. Because what's happening here, Deborah, is that if it's working right, when they signed up, bingo, now they've got that tag. So they won't be included in broadcasts. And then when they finish it, they've graduated, and bingo, it removes that tag. And so now they're in the all subscribers list.
Okay, so then the Forever Series people, if I have everybody, the full list of people getting the Forever Series, they still wouldn't, and I can exclude the Quick Start Guide people.
What I
And
would do is
other,
this.
uh,
On that rule is remove the,
and then put them in the Forever Series.
yeah, just do that in the same rule.
Got it.
I really don't know if you can do it at Flowdesk.
Let me get a new picture of that.
Wilma will know. Did Wilma leave? Wilma,
Okay,
Wilma says
that makes perfect sense. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I had to pay Wilma extra to be here so that she could answer Flowdesk questions. She's pricey. You have no idea. All right. Any other questions? Oh, I'd like to purge my cold subscribers more frequently. Is that covered? That's covered in the email and autopilot course, Amy. So that section admittedly is a little dated, but you'll get the gist of it. It's basically identify the cold subscribers, put them into a segment, send them an email that says, hey, do you want to stay on the list or not? If you do, click here. When they do, that will basically remove them from the cold subscriber segment because they opened something, they clicked something. Just by opening it, actually, they will be removed from the cold subscriber segment. So that's why you do the win back. It's one final chance. I have a much more advanced version that I do for my done for you services clients, but for most people, this what we just described is fine.
And is it true? Like, does Apple still? So if I just were to go in and purge cold subscribers, is that dangerous still because of Safari?
Yeah, it is kind of, but I mean, it's the information that you have. So, which
send the win back email.
Yeah. So
always okay.
Now, I probably shouldn't even say this because I'm going to send somebody down. Don't hear what I'm not saying. All right. There are some of you who don't need to prune so often for the reasons that we didn't get into it. But what Amy is alluding to is that our stats are not as reliable as they once were. Apple Mail, for example, they do some funky things that messes with your stats, and you don't know if you can actually trust it 100%. So what does that mean? Or sometimes somebody's got a preview window, and then that doesn't trigger the open, and they may be seeing it. There's a couple of reasons to prune your list. First is cost. You don't want to pay for people that aren't on there. But depending on which platform you're using, you're usually within like a certain threshold. So if you pruning 2,000 subscribers isn't going to effectively change your bill, I might hold until I'm approaching that threshold. Depends on how penny pinching I am.
I'm at a threshold right now. That's why.
Okay. The other reason is that some of you have audiences that resurrect themselves magically at different times of the year, and they can be hyper valuable during the holidays, for example. Or some of you, if you're selling a product, or if you're going to change your system based off things that we've talked about here, I might wait 3 months and see, did the changes I make actually make a difference? So that's kind of the idea.
That's good advice. Thanks.
All right.
Can you explain, Matt, we were talking about dumping people into Forever Series or dumping people, isn't that dumping people into the Forever Series I get, but I think Deborah was asking, how do I get people to just be on my email list? Isn't everybody just on there? Did you ask that, Deborah, or maybe I'm mistaken?
Yeah. The answer is yes, they are on there. It depends on your platform of choice how they label it. But yes, by virtue of, in the case of Kit, which Deborah's using, if you sign up through a form of any type, you are now on Deborah's list and included in all subscribers. And I think one of the tricks or the challenges is how can we limit it so that when we send a broadcast, the people who are still in the Quick Start Guide who already got an email at 7 this morning don't get another one today. And so I think that is one of the things that we're trying to accomplish with that.
Got it. Have you done that typically?
Yeah,
was-
what I just described or had on the screen here is
Yeah.
very frequently what I will set up
Okay, perfect.
for my clients is this rule set. This is not, if I had a few minutes, I would do this much more cleanly, but
No,
I
that's
hope you
great.
get the idea.
No, I totally get the idea. Hey, I wanted to clarify what I said a minute ago about Casey Markey. So basically he's saying, like, it's hard to know, right? Deborah looked at this and she's like, "Ooh, I don't like those sites. There's too much stuff. It's too salesy." And it's hard to know. He said, if you look at it and you don't like it, probably change it, but you have to have a balance. But what he meant was, so like Wholesome Yum, for example, I mean, her site had so many ads, so many this and things popping up and everything. And he's like, you can't do because she's doing, because she is like, what, like 7 million hits a month or some 2, 3. And she's super techy. She's got this super responsive site. She does, her background was in that. And he's like, you can't look at like the superstars and do exactly what they're doing because you are not them. And you can't, you just, but I get your point too, that we should look and say, hey, what can I do that they're doing?
Yeah,
In
sure.
both.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. All right. Anybody else have any other questions?
Hey Matt, yeah, I would like to, and I can just, I guess maybe shoot you a Facebook DM because I don't know how to attach a picture here. But my CTR from my upgraded, my new quick start guide this week is still only 0.4, and so I would like you to roast that CTA to figure out what I'm doing wrong here.
Where can I see it? Just tell me what website.
Girlcarnivore.com.
Sorry, what was it again?
Girlcarnivore.com.
Oh, I just misspelled girl. I was like, okay.
Girl.
It's a hard word.
Hard.
Okay. All right, where should I go?
It should pop up after like 5 seconds, I think.
Okay.
If not, I don't know why it's not popping up after 5 seconds. Other than unless you were on the site this week, because they do have like a 10 to 15 day don't show again.
Well, it's possible because you sent me that message earlier, right?
Yeah.
Let me try incognito here. We'll see if we can get it.
Peter, I'm on your site. I don't see it.
Interesting. Interesting. ¿Por qué no?
All right. Hasn't come up yet. Oh, I didn't. I switch here. Switch.
Interesting.
Well, we may have discovered something already. Look how
Well, I'm
good.
at Sign-Up Summit today, so like I can see that people are signing up. So it's interesting.
Okay. Can
I don't know
you
why it's
can you
not.
take a screen grab and if you have it in front of you, do you want to take a screen grab and drop it into the chat or something?
I don't know if you can drop
Or
it.
you can share your screen and we can look at yours.
Yeah, hold on one sec. Let's see. No, I didn't. And can you drop an image into? No.
I don't know. Oh, I got new summer recipes delivered daily.
That's a pop-up. Yes.
It is a pop-up. Is that the one you want me to look at?
Yes.
Okay. So
Why that isn't popping up for you guys though? That's concerning.
what's the conversion rate on this one?
0.4. So that's what I'm trying to figure out why it's not.
All right. So my first reaction is that Martha doesn't want summer recipes from you delivered daily.
Okay.
What does Martha want?
So we had a generic pop-up before this that was almost identical wording, just recipes. We just didn't put summer. I was trying to be topical for the new start guide, and that had a 5%, which still, as we know, isn't great
Well,
conversion.
so you have a quick start guide?
Yes.
Okay, what's the quick start guide?
I just did summer recipes this week. So it was just like easy grilling recipes when it's too hot to cook inside.
Okay. Let's start there. If I'm Martha and I'm landing on this website and you've identified that I want to grill, but it's too hot outside, that's the problem you're solving for Martha. Is that what you're telling me, right?
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
Okay. So first of all, the question would be, is that really a problem? I can't solve that for you. It might be, it might not be. It might be Martha's problem, it might not be. But if it is, we're not saying that here at all. So what I would say is something like this instead. It's hot. 5 secrets to grilling when it's so dang hot outside.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
Okay.
That's not exactly it, but that's, riff on that. Because what you're telling me here is something that I can get anywhere, with the value proposition being delivered daily. Stop scrolling and join thousands of Foodie Geek tested recipes and pro summer cooking tips daily for free. Yeah, I know that that's a value. You and I know that's a value, but Martha does not think that's a value. Martha can get that from ChatGPT. So what can't Martha get? Now, what Martha can't get is tested recipes. 5 days of our most tested recipes, or Kita's signature summer recipes, or 5 secrets to grill faster. I'm making stuff up here, but what value, what promise can you give to Martha in that moment?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because they can, all she has to do is go like this and go, oh, well, here's another summer recipe. I click here and click here. She doesn't feel like that's worth giving you her email address for.
Okay.
Great question. I'm glad you asked that. This is
Yeah. I wish I had saved, and maybe I need to go back to the screenshot I sent you. I think I was more focused on the August and like problem solving earlier this week. And with the conversion not being high, I just went with like what
Right.
was converting for my generic one.
Right.
And just put the word summer in there. So I'd love to see the CTR get up, the conversion rate get up for the call out boxes. I feel like that's really
Okay. Send me the other one if you want, and I'm
Yeah.
happy to look at it on my separate on our own time too.
Yeah.
Um,
It's just a major pain point here.
by the way, same
You've
thing
heard of that?
here. Yeah, like does anybody ever, first of all, check your stats. I'm guessing nobody ever signs up with this form. But they're not gonna see it, first of all, because it's sidebar.
Right. When's
Right.
the last time anybody updated their sidebar?
Right. So just take that and drop it into the footer, and then, which you already have.
Yeah.
Because I like having, by the way, everybody hear me on this. I do not mind having a general subscribe to my newsletter box somewhere. I don't mind having it up here because this makes sense to me. If I'm scrolling around and I'm going looking for it and I want this, then I want to provide that. But what we were just talking about with the pop-up is a different experience, right? As somebody who's clicked, is only there momentarily and is going to leave. That's who we're trying to
Mhm.
capture. So, but I'm not against having this option. In fact, I encourage it because you do have diehards that will want to find it and sign up.
Yeah, and through ConvertKit, I mean, you can see that people sign up through that form as well. So
Yeah. By the way, if you have or it's not here anymore, but you all were asking about how to do that animated GIF. You can do it in Canva. You can also do it just easy GIF Maker. It's free, and you just drop in your files here, and it'll pick them, and then it'll instantly create an animated GIF for you if somebody's interested in that. Okay. All right, great
Ooh.
questions.
Good question, Matt. I wrote it down. Where did I write it? Oh, bugger. I have 2 computers open. Okay. Sorry. Unless you gotta go. All right. Seasonal broadcasts sequences. So I had messaged you a while ago. You were like, well, just reschedule your Cinco de Mayo recipe for May of next year. Brilliant advice. I was clearly overthinking it. However, as we build these forever series and things like that, my site is very seasonal dependent. And so I was wondering if there's a way to build quarterly or even monthly forever series that kind of automatically turn on and off without me having to manually remember to update my sidebar.
Yeah. Okay. In your case, the tricky part is the remembering to turn it on and off. But that's really just a toggle of the switch. If you set yourself a calendar reminder, you would do it.
Yeah.
But you can create, normally forever series are supposed to be evergreen. Let's take your situation where it's grill season. You have proven hits 1 through 12. You want to make sure that emails 1 through 12 are not missed by anybody in grill season. You don't care what day, whether it's May, June, or July, or August, you don't care. But when they discover you and they're part of that journey, you always want to make sure that they get number 1, and then they get number 2 and number 3 during grill season. This is outside of the Quick Start Guide.
Yep.
So you create a forever series and that is specific to that season. You turn it on and you do exactly what we were talking about earlier with Deborah, which is they complete the quick start guide. Now they're into your any forever series. Maybe you have them enter all of them at once, the summer forever series. And then that way they're in it and they always start with email number 1 in that one. When summer is over, you simply turn it off. Let's say somebody was 6 weeks into it. When
Yep.
summer rolls around next year and you turn it back on, they'll be at number 7 and it'll just start there for them. If you created a bunch of seasonal series like that, that would give you at least the knowledge that you knew that those emails 1 through 12 or whatever, you were serving those up in an order that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Okay.
And it didn't have to be 4th of July. And then you could still save your seasonal broadcast to be, here's what to make for Memorial Day, here's what to grill for 4th of July, and that sort of thing.
Cool beans.
Beans are cool. Yes.
They are.
Okay. Anybody else? So each quick start guide sequence can be turned off and on, and whether any sequence can be turned off and on, forever series or any type of sequence. There's a little in the settings that says on or off. You can just turn it on and off. Yeah. And they'll be frozen right where they are until next grilling season when you turn that thing back on. That's, by the way, not many. I have some people, because it's a little complicated, but there's some people will do that for holidays. Right? I don't really care which day in between November 25th and December 25th. I don't really care which day they get it, but they've got to get my ultimate holiday cookies roundup. Okay, so that's email number 1 in that little tiny mini forever series. And so I might make a Christmas guide of 1 to 12 emails and turn that thing just so I know that it's automatically serving them. That's a little complicated. Whether it's worth the effort is going to totally depend on your audience. It might just be easier just to write those emails and queue them up seasonally. And next year, if you want to run it again, like she was just alluding to, you go and hit duplicate and schedule that Christmas one for December 1st of next year, because it is going to roll around next year.
I have a question
I'm ready.
about the welcome sequence. So I have mine set up as like the trigger is the free guide, but it's just a guide right now. I don't have the quick start 5-day sequence or whatever. But then I take them into a sales funnel. My welcome sequence also is a sales funnel. So I have a low ticket offer that I offer them and then bring them into my bigger offers over, like a six sequences of emails before they just go onto my regular list. How would like a 5-day quick start guide? I guess my concern is that to me would feel a little bit more, a free 5-day series feels a little bit more, because my low ticket offer is an ebook. So to me, a 5-day series feels a little bit more valuable than an ebook. So I worry that it's going to cheapen my low ticket offer.
Yeah.
Should I keep it as something completely separate? Should I just stick with what I've got with the low ticket offer, or maybe make that more valuable? I don't know how I guess what I'm asking is, I don't know how the quick start guide fits into my sales funnel sequence and kind of how to make that mesh together.
It might not. Just to be clear, I was trying to track, but I think I've got it. So the first is you have an ebook that is the lead magnet. It gets them in. Yes?
Yes. So the lead magnet is more just like I'm selling it more as like a downloadable, like 5 reasons why your garden's not thriving, basically, is what it is.
Okay.
So it's not a ebook. The low ticket offer is an ebook. That's like 50 pages. It's a lot, here's how to fix your problem. So I'm bringing them in as, here's why your garden's not thriving. Now here's how to fix these problems. And then I lead them into my workshop, blah, blah, blah.
So the freebie is a 1-page printable.
It's like 3 or 4 pages. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
But it's
5,
okay.
Yeah, something. It's small. Yeah.
Then they are invited to purchase in the welcome series a low ticket offer, which is a 50-page ebook.
Yes.
And that leads to a high ticket offer of Amy's awesomeness.
The workshop.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Amy's awesomeness.
Okay. Now, there's actually a legit reason why you might want to convert or test anyway, convert the PDF into a series of emails.
Okay.
What you just mentioned may not be true, where there's this assigned perceived value of a series over an ebook. Where I think the value comes is in the depth of the solution to the problem. So let's say that it's, 5 things you can do right now to transform your garden. I don't know, making that up, right? So
Yeah.
Email number 1, by breaking that 2 or 3 page thing into 5 days of emails, you actually get more chances to have your branding in front of them, for them to focus on that one thing. An ebook, again, people are not reading it. They're not clicking on it. They're not coming back to your website. They're not consuming other content. You could, with an email, lead them to an Instagram reel where you're out in the garden showing something or whatever that emphasizes the main point that you're making. It could be a better teaching experience that sets you up as an expert for your lead magnet. And what we're doing with the lead magnet is building trust so that they'll buy the low ticket offer. I think it's worth thinking about. I think it's worth testing, because I don't think anybody's going to put together, well, I got 5 days of emails from her and now she wants me to pay for an ebook. Well, 5 days of emails is worth more than this, so that cheapens this. No, because what they're going to do is they're going to go, wow, that was really smart stuff from Amy. And now she's promising to change my life with this ebook.
Yeah.
That's my
Okay.
thought. I don't know for a fact, but that's a reason to test it. You're in their inbox 5 days in a row.
So in those 5 emails, let's just pretend for now that it's a 5 email sequence for the quick start guide. Would I talk about the LTO within those emails, or just leave it to the LTO, or sorry, to the lead magnet content,
I
and
would test
then
it.
5
Yeah.
days? Okay, test it. Okay.
Yeah, because I don't know. I'm leaning towards doing it. I'm leaning towards,
Yeah.
and by the way, always mentioning down below, and maybe the degree to which you're hammering it changes in the email. Maybe it's just a brief little mention, and it's like
Like in the PS or something. Yeah.
yeah, PS. It's like, if you're really serious about this now, do this. Now, if they buy and click, you could actually, when you start getting a little more as you get more sophisticated with it, you could exclude them from the welcome series, which is the sales pitch as well, because it bypasses them, and then drop them into the bigger offer after that if they've already got the smaller offer.
Right. Yeah, I've got that set up. Okay, so then just one more quick question regarding this is, so if I try the 5 day sequence, it's 5 days in a row, I'm assuming. I've got your course, so I can figure out that detail, but 5 day sequence, and then at the end of that, it puts them, then it puts them continues on with the regular welcome sequence / sales funnel.
I wouldn't change a
Right.
thing. Yeah, I mean, I would do it exactly the same way that you're doing with the PDF
Just the 5 days
delivery.
on the front end.
It's just
Okay.
5 days on the front end, exactly. With the
Got it.
possibility to
Perfect.
exclude them from the welcome sequence if they purchase somewhere.
Yes. That's built in.
And it doesn't have to
Okay,
be five.
cool.
I mean, 5, Amy, I'm grabbing out of the 5.
Right. Yeah. I just saying arbitrary number 2. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I get it. Okay. Thank you.
I like that. Okay. I hope everybody kind of paid attention to that, because we didn't really talk about that while we were selling. Most people have left. But while we're talking about selling stuff, what you just heard is a different approach to using email and content to upfront building trust. Now, Amy, I've got to believe that not everybody buys either the ebook or the workshop. Is that correct?
Correct.
So what do you do then?
So then I've got another little part of my sequence that then starts talking about, it talks about the workshop some more, but then it also leads them into my membership. So that's my biggest ticket offer. So I mentioned that a few times. And then after that, it goes into my regular email broadcast. Right now, I'm just doing broadcast. I don't have a forever series set up yet, but I'll be working on that next.
Okay. So your broadcast, and especially with gardening, right? That's your topic?
Yes. Yeah.
So with gardening, there's certain things that you want them all to know,
Exactly. Yeah.
over and over and over again. And then I'm hopeful that you are also doing different promos to reinvigorate the interest in the membership group from time to time.
Yeah. I talk about it quite often. I refer back to it, and then also I've done a couple. My membership is fairly new, so I haven't. It's not like it's years old. It's only been a year, so I definitely do some mini launches. I did a big launch at the beginning, and then now I just do mini launches at different points during the year.
Mini launches, promos. See?
Yeah.
That's and the reason you do that is it just basically says, "Hey, we're still here. We've got this thing. You've forgotten
Don't
that I have
forget.
it." Yeah. Do you mind? Can you give us any sense of how many people buy the entry level offer, and then how many of those buy the bigger offer?
Oh, I can't because I literally just set up the low ticket offer
You're just getting started.
like
Yeah.
last week. Yeah, like Friday. Because before that, I just had the lead magnet, and then I went in and talked about my workshop right away. But I wanted to do a low ticket offer in there and test that to see if that did better and built up that trust more.
Gotcha.
So I literally just set that up on like last week. Yeah, a week
Awesome.
ago, Friday.
Well, if things really start taking off for you, let us know.
Okay,
Take a picture from the yacht and
will do. A
post it.
selfie with my yacht. Will do.
Yeah, here we are. Thanks, gardening. Thanks, gardening emails.
All right, cool. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Anybody else? Now we're just looking at each other like we signed each other's yearbooks at the end of high school, and like we promised to keep in touch, and when we know we won't. It's just that's how it is. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you. Take it easy.